Welcome to Checks and Balances TV. This is Mickey O'Neill sitting in for Matt Reddick, and we're in a brief series of interviews with financial advisor Randy Packett about annuities. Now, annuities are under attack from all sides, it seems, but Randy is here to explain the three different types of annuities: variable, fixed, and fixed indexed annuities, and how each might benefit you. If you missed our first two interviews, you can see them at checksandbalances.tv or on Randy Packett's website or his YouTube channel. We'll make sure we run links at the bottom of the screen to make it easy. Okay, Randy, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for inviting me again.
You bet. Always good to have you. And I'm guessing fixed annuities are not called fixed because they were broken and now they're fixed.
No, not at all. Fixed annuity refers to the kind of return you get from a financial instrument. You remember the variable annuity was a product of both the stock market and the insurance industry?
Right.
Kind of a hybrid. The fixed annuity is strictly an insurance product. It's an account, much like a certificate of deposit, where you put your money in for a certain time for a certain amount of interest. But the account is with the insurance company instead of a bank. And also, keep in mind, it's not like this true CDs where they may be federally backed, where not only they're FDIC insured, but they're backed by the federal government. Any fixed annuity or any annuities are not backed by the federal government, nor are they backed by the state government.
Well, if I could just run down to the bank then and put my money in a CD, why would I even bother with a fixed annuity?
Well, the reason being they have a better rates and it has its tax advantages.
How much better are the rates?
Well, typically, insurance company will take a look at what the market is doing, and then they determine what type of interest rate they're able to bear. And typically, right now, they're able to pay in a 5-year CD versus 5-year fixed annuity, they're paying about 0.5% per year higher.
So you get about 0.5% per year better in an annuity.
Absolutely.
But the bank is FDIC insured. What kind of protection do you get with the annuity?
Most states will offer an insurance, almost like a reinsurance to protect the insurance company, just in case that they get into trouble.
So you've got good safety with a fixed annuity, kind of like a CD. You get a little bit better rate. What about the tax advantages? What about the tax differences between a CD and an annuity?
Well, typical CDs that people will put them in with the bank, unless they are an IRA account, well, you have to pay taxes in the year that you receive the interest. Whether you take the money out or not, you have to pay taxes on it. Banks will send you a 1099 at the beginning of the year from the previous year's interest that you have earned. However, with annuities, every annuity that's sold out there, if you earn an interest on your annuities, they will be deferred until the time that you take the money out. So if you don't use the money, you don't pay taxes on it.
So it sounds to me like if I have a CD in the bank of XYZ and I have an annuity with XYZ company and I make $100,000 on my CD and I make $100,000 on my annuity, even though typically they pay more, I'm going to owe maybe 30% taxes on my 100%, on my 100,000, whether I withdrew it or not. Whereas on the annuity, it just continues to grow deferred?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of an annuity. If you kept it for a long time, whether it's 3 years or 5 years, all the money that you didn't have to pay taxes on it right away, those 30%, now since you kept that, it gets to be compounded even with that interest.
The miracle of compounding interest. Okay, well, like CDs, you leave the money in there for a while, or there may be a penalty to withdrawal. Is that right?
Typically, the annuities with any insurance company, their withdrawal penalty typically is much, much higher than the banks.
Okay, so this is not your put and take money.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, when I recommend any type of investments for my clients, I tell my clients to have 3 sets of money. They should have money in the bank, they should have money with the insurance company, and they should have money with the investment company.
I see. Why?
Because it's 3 buckets. You should be having some money in the bank for those rainy days, something that you could get to right away when you have a need for it. And then when you have, to me, those are the 1 to 2 years of money that you may need. And then your investment should be for 3 to 7 years. And then for any annuities that you buy, I would hope that you would only put the money away for an account where you're not going to touch for perhaps 8+ years.
8+ years. Terrific. What other downsides are there to the fixed annuity, if any?
Well, if you buy a fixed annuity today, let's assume that you're buying a 5-year annuity with 2% per year in interest rate. If you lock in your annuity, knowing that you may have a heavy penalties, what happens in 3 years if the interest environment is such, inflation comes back where the banks are starting to pay a higher interest rate? You may be locked in onto an annuity for 2 or 3 more years, and you're not going to be able to get out because of the high penalties. Therefore, be careful with what money you put away in a fixed annuity.
Right, and that's why you always recommend the different buckets.
Absolutely. You should always have a reasonable amount of money in a bank accounts that you could utilize for any type of emergencies that you may arise.
And really, this isn't like going out and buying a dozen eggs or a gallon of milk. There have got to be thousands of kinds of annuities.
That's the reason why we're licensed with the many insurance companies, because every insurance company pays a different interest rate at a different time. And you need to take a look at what companies are available. Make sure you work with an advisor who has access to all those insurance companies.
That means probably not a captive advisor.
Typically, the captive advisors will sell their own company products, and their company will dictate what other products that they may be able to offer. As an independent financial advisors, they have access to all the products and services that any insurance or investment companies offers out there.
I see. What about just buying an annuity at the bank?
You know what? That's a good idea too. Sometimes if you feel that if you got money in the bank, then you should explore what they have to offer. But most banks, because of their responsibility is to protect the money for their clients, they only will work with 1 or 2 insurance companies with their products, and you're very limited in the type of products and services is out there.
So in essence, the banker is another type of captive agent. And I want to make sure that we define that. A captive agent is an agent that works for an insurance company or some other company that limits what they're able to offer. This goes back to our suitability versus fiduciary responsibility question, which was talked about in another video. If you didn't see that one, look that up on YouTube. It's a real good one to watch. Randy, anything that we need to know about fixed annuities before we wrap this up?
What I would tell everyone to do is make sure they take a look at any type of investable assets they may have. And also when they take a look at it, make sure they're diversified with money in the proper areas. Make sure that you have money for the short term, midterm, and a long term. And based on your needs, you come up with the best products and services that's suited for you.
Very good. Well, Randy, thanks again for joining us. This is Mickey O'Neill sitting in for Matt Reddick on Checks and Balances TV.
Thank you.